everybody, Gina Young is back, and I'm back with yet another amazing recipe. I am so excited yet another day because today at the Young's house, Gina Young is going to share with you all how easy it is to make a delicious lasagna. This recipe right here, bomb, so easy to make. It doesn't require a lot of ingredients, and you know, make it Gina Young style. It's going to be so tasty. Y'all never had my lasagna before. You better make you some. Here are the lovely ingredients you will need. The first thing that you will need is around about 2 pounds of ground meat. So we're using ground beef, 80-20, and also I have a secret that we're going to use. Today, we're going to put this Bob Evans breakfast ground sausage in with our meat. It makes for a great lasagna. You're going to need some veggies so we can make this thing nice and colorful and give it some flavor. So we have a beautiful green bell pepper, a red bell pepper, and a nice sweet onion. Also, we have any spaghetti sauce that you love, that's what you're going to use. Okay, so we have some spaghetti sauce here, and also you're going to need your lasagna noodles. We will be using around about 1.5 pounds or 1.5 boxes, and some cheeses. So we have 3 bags of shredded mozzarella. You will need some cottage cheese. You're going to also need some ricotta cheese and a couple of eggs. You can't have lasagna without some good old garlic bread on the side, and also a couple of spices. Here's the spices you will need. You're going to need some Parmesan cheese in this shaker bottle. A little bit of red pepper flakes, Italian seasoning, parsley flakes, black pepper, vegetable seasoning, and salt. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean. Let's get started with this amazing recipe, Gina Young style. I couldn't be more excited to make this recipe today. I love lasagna. Like who doesn't love lasagna? Let me know in the comment section below, when is the last time you had some nice homemade, not that frozen kind, guys, but homemade lasagna. Let me know in the comment section below, what was your experience, or when was the last time you had it? So now what we're going to do is we're going to add this whole package of this ground breakfast sausage. It is delicious. And then the next thing that I want to do, go ahead and season it. Gina, you're using a whole lot of meat. Well, I want to. I like, when I have lasagna, I want it to be nice and meaty. So we just put the vegetable seasoning in. We're going to go in with some pepper, and we're going to put some salt in. Not too much salt, because several times we will taste the sauce to see, you know, if it needs more seasoning. So you can always season more times. Okay, so that is Italian seasoning. I have my heat up on a medium to medium high heat. Once it gets nice, beautiful, and golden brown, what you do want to do is make sure you drain that oil. When I come back, we'll get started cutting up some veggies. We got our meat going. Let's cut up some veggies. Okay, and it's really up to you if you want to cut them, you know, very small, or if you want to cut them into big pieces, strips. It's really up to you. Okay, so here is what I'm going to do. Okay, just like so, in this manner. I hope that you all are having an amazing day today. All right, so here's what I want to do. Let's talk about the bell peppers. And now, sometimes, and you all might be familiar with what I'm about to say. Sometimes when I use the peppers, I just throw them in raw. Just throw them in raw right into the meat. It's going to be very flavorful. But if you want it to be really flavorful and take it up a notch, what you're going to do is you're going to chop these veggies and you're going to saute them. When you saute bell peppers and onions, they get a much sweeter, more delicious taste. And then you add them into your meat or your sauce, and voila. You know, you have a bumped up flavor rather than these veggies just kind of steaming in the meat or steaming in the sauce. Try it next time. Next time you make spaghetti or you're making lasagna, give them a nice saute up and watch how sweet and beautiful they are. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut all these veggies up just like so. And then I'll show you what to do next, but I do want to mention something that I almost forgot to tell you all about. You're going to need some fresh garlic. Yes, we're using, let's see, did I get my garlic powder out? I do want to use some garlic powder as well in my sauce. So we're going to use garlic powder and then fresh garlic. You need it. So what I want to do is I want to check in on our ground meat, and we're gonna give it a nice chop. You wanna get it fine as you can. And normally, when it starts to cook, you'll really be able to break it up. Sometimes when it hasn't started to cook, it's really hard to break it up. So we're gonna chop it down until we get nice fine pieces, just like so. Okay, so we'll just let that be for the time being. And then also I wanted to show you our veggies. We got the onions, we got the 2 bell peppers, and now we have our garlic. Let's go ahead, chop up some garlic. Okay, so now I've hit the garlic with the side of the knife just to help me to take that skin off. Otherwise, like I always like to say, you're gonna be peeling for days trying to get that skin off if you don't do a number like that. So now we're gonna chop up the garlic nice and fine. And then what I'm not gonna do today, normally what I like to do, you all are familiar with it, I like to make a garlic oil. We're not gonna do that today. We're just gonna throw this raw garlic right into our meat and let this garlic cook right in with that meat, just like so. Okay, so at this moment, I'm gonna go ahead and get that garlic in there so that meat can get nice and flavorful. And when I come back, we'll make our way to the stove behind me and get started sauteing up our veggies. So now, what we're gonna do, I got some butter in my pan. I'm gonna saute up these gorgeous veggies. Okay, just like so. And literally, just about 7 to 10 minutes. We want them to get nice and sweet. And you'll know. How will you know when they're nice and sweet? Well, those bell peppers will start to turn a deep color. You don't want to cook them until they're mush, you know. But like I said, 7 to 10 minutes, that'll do the trick. They'll be nice and sweet. So now, if y'all can see the meat, you will see that that meat is nice and fine because I really took the time to chop it down, get it small pieces. And also our veggies. We cook them for around 7 to 10 minutes, get them nice and sweet and really bump up that flavor to this lasagna. So now that we have the bell peppers in and the meat has been drained, you want to drain off that excess oil. Let's go ahead and season one more time. Because then we're going to put the sauce on this and we're just going to let that baby simmer. You hear me? All the seasonings that we used before, including garlic powder. All right. Italian seasoning, definitely a must. Red pepper flakes, and I'm going to hold back on the salt until I taste it. We're going to let it simmer for a while. And then if it needs salt, we'll add salt, you know. Okay, so let's go ahead. And what you don't want to do is you don't want this to be watery. You want it to be a nice thick sauce. So don't overdo it with the sauce. I'm going to continue to pour more sauce in until I'm happy with the consistency, and I'll show you when I come back. So our sauce has been simmering for around about a half an hour, and you can see that it's starting to get nice and thick. It's not really loose. You don't want it loose. I can't stress that enough. Not when you're making lasagna. Okay, so what I do want to do, like I have to taste this, and I'm just aiming to taste the sauce to see if I need more seasoning or if I need that sugar that I usually put in. Delicious. I feel like it needs a little bit of sugar. Wow, Gina, that's a lot of sugar. Well, listen here. I'm not putting enough to make this sweet. I'm putting enough so that it gives it a different flavor. Okay, I'm pretty sure this will do the trick, and we're just going to let this simmer. Let's make our way over to the stove, get started on our noodles, and then I'll show you what to do next. So we have our boiling water, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to salt the water. When you're making rice, potatoes, or noodles, you salt the water so that even your noodles have flavor. Okay, so now with lasagna noodles, you don't mess with them too much. You don't want them to break all up. Okay, so just get them in there just like so. Eventually they will start to wilt, and once that happens, you can give them a nice stir around. And like I said, I like to use a box and a half for one lasagna. So first thing, I want you all to take a peek in over here at our sauce. We have some sauce. It's been simmering for an hour and a half. Let it simmer. It tastes better the longer it simmers. We got some noodles, and what I've done is I've put my noodles in a little bit of cold water so that they don't stick. Okay, so the noodles are done, and I have a little bit more noodles cooking just in case. So now, when you go out to purchase your ricotta, you're gonna get the container that's about this big. And also, same with the cottage cheese. You don't need a really big container, but what I'm going to do with the rest of this is I plan on doing another recipe with what's left. So I'm not going to, get rid of it. Okay, so we have the ricotta, just like so. And then we're gonna take some cottage cheese. You can use the large curd or the small curd, or you don't have to use cottage cheese at all. Or you can just do all cottage cheese and no ricotta, or all ricotta and no cottage cheese. It's really up to you. Have fun with it. This right here, it's mistake-free and it's so easy to make. Put you some parsley flakes in there just to make it nice and pretty, right? We're gonna put some garlic powder in there, but before that, we are gonna add 2 eggs. And what this is gonna do is gonna create somewhat of a cheese sauce, and it's also gonna help to bind together your lasagna so that it doesn't go splat when you try to cut it. Okay, so I will get the garlic powder, put some in there, but this right here, this is the cheese sauce. You need this. This is a big secret for my lasagna. Time to make lasagna. Here's what we're gonna do. You always wanna start off with a little bit of sauce in the bottom of the pan. How much? Just a tiny bit, just to coat the pan so that your noodles don't stick to the bottom, you know. So really, that's enough. Is that it, Gina? Yes, that's it. Just that little bit. Okay, that's gonna prevent your noodles from sticking once again. All right, so now go in with your noodles. Noodle time. All right, so now the noodles are gonna go just like so, in this manner. And what's very tricky is if you put them this way, it just doesn't seem to stick together. So what I like to do, overlap it. That's why I make extra noodles. When you overlap it, it stays together, okay? You will have some of your noodles fall apart on you. Don't freak out about it. It's not the end of the world. It'll be okay. You can even use the ones that are torn, okay? And sometimes you might even have to cut your lasagna noodles to make them fit into whatever size pan you're using, okay? I would assume this is about a 9 by 12 size pan, but what I like to always look for is that pan that says lasagna pan. That tells me I got the right pan. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Let's go in, and you can do the layers however you want. Heck, if you wanted to put cheese on top of the noodles and then the meat, you could do that. Do it how you want. This is how I like to do it. And sometimes I don't even do it in order. You know, you can have fun with this. Let those kids help you when you're making this recipe. They're gonna have a lot of fun, especially when it's done. They're gonna love, love, love the taste of this lasagna. So now that we have everything nice and spread out, I'm gonna come back and I'll show you what you need to do next. Now we're gonna take our ricotta, cottage cheese, and egg mixture, and I did put some garlic powder in there and just spread it just like so. You don't need to put too much, you know, because this, it spreads out during the cooking process, okay? So now just a nice thin layer, just like so, all the way through. And the next step that we're gonna do is we're gonna put on a nice healthy amount of mozzarella cheese. If you like to use provolone, absolutely you could use provolone. Provolone is great for lasagna. Okay, see, I'm happy with that. Like I said, it will spread out. Nice healthy amount. And you decide how many layers that you want to do for your lasagna. You know, when I tell you guys that a recipe is easy, it's because really it is easy. This recipe is a piece of cake. All you really got to do, the hardest thing is getting your sauce to taste amazing. Once your sauce is amazing, this comes together pretty simple, right? Okay, so now back in with the noodles, but we went this way the first time. This time we're gonna go this way. Well, Gina, my noodle's too long. Well, take some scissors or just break it and go the other way. It'll help that lasagna to stand nice and tall. Okay, just like so. Like I said, you can break it, but you want to make sure you overlap it. I'm going to continue to do this all the way down and cut it so that it fits my pan, and I'll be back. Noodles are down and they went the other way. The other noodles went this way. These noodles go that way. Back in with sauce. And I know right now some of you are saying, dang, is it really that easy? Yes, it's really that easy. And like I said, I'm going to repeat myself. The most thing that you really want to do is you got to make that cheese sauce, and also you want to make an amazing meat sauce. This meat sauce right here is key to a delicious lasagna. Well, people are going to go nuts. You got to know how to season. You got to know how to taste your food when you're cooking it, you know, so you can re-season it if need be, like we did in this video. And that way you know what you're feeding to your loved ones. So now once I get this all the way over, we're going to go in one more time with another layer of that beautiful ricotta cottage cheese mixture. Okay, ricotta cottage cheese mixture coming up. If you want to, you can only do one. If you want to, let me try to slow down so see how I want to say this. If you want to, you can use one layer of this mixture. It would turn out delicious. But I like to use 2 layers of this because it is amazing. All right, and then what we're going to do is right away we're going to put some mozzarella on and do our last, our last layer. It's up to you. You could do 2 layers if you wanted to. Okay, and guess what? It would be delicious. But you can do 5 to 7 layers if you wanted to. I normally like to do 3. I've done 4, but 3 is my limit. Okay? So now, let's go ahead, get some mozzarella on, just like so. And then the noodles go on top. We put meat sauce on top of that, and we're done. But I'm going to show you each step before this goes in the oven, 350 degrees. And when we put it in the oven, it gets covered with aluminum foil. Last layer. Get your noodles on all the way across, meat sauce and cheese. Okay, so that's the last layer. I'm going to do this, and I'll be right back to show you what I'll do next. Lasagna is ready to go in the oven. Where's the cheese at? We're not going to put the cheese on until the last, the last 15 minutes that this is cooking. So this is going in the oven about 1.5 hours, 355 degrees or 350. Foil it up. We'll put the cheese on the last 15 minutes so it can get hot and bubbly without a cover. Be back. Lasagna has came out the oven. It cooked for 1.5 hours. We got the cheese on, we got parsley on, back in the oven until the cheese gets nice and hot, beautiful golden brown. Take a look at this, everybody. Gina Young Style lasagna. Make you some. Look in the inside. Oh, look in the inside. Go on, everybody. Take a bite. God bless this food. Thank you, Lord, for feeding us a meal today and all your blessings. We love you, Jesus. Amen. Take a bite if you want to. Look at that. Ooh, you better make you some. And as always, God bless. Good night.